Hi and welcome to this episode of Passport to Payments. I'm Mikis from Enfuse and we're at FIBE Berlin. Today I have the honor of speaking to Glenn MacDonald. You're the CEO of Qwist.
Yes.
Glenn, please tell me a little bit about yourself and what you're focused on right now.
Sure. Well, thank you first of all for this conversation. Indeed, my name is Glenn MacDonald. I'm currently the CFO of Qwist. We are a German Berlin-based open banking, open finance platform. We are BaFin regulated. Basically, what we do is helping companies them doing better by providing PSD2 grade data to their premises so that they can make good business decisions. My current focus is on further growing the company. We are active now in about 30 countries. We are connected with about 3,600 financial institutions. There we will still want to expand to really have that total control over the market and be helpful for any type of company, predominantly within the European Union.
And Glenn, you've held many leadership positions around the industry at different companies. What's one major shift that you're seeing in the industry?
Well, I think foremost what you see that everything is faster. So I did my tour now more than 25 years in the financial services industry. So I've been looking around in corporates, startups, scale-up companies. And what you see today is that the way how we need to run and to strategize with businesses is just very fast-paced. And that's because everything is nowadays driven on smart technology. And that acceleration curve that is going on in the software technology world is definitely impacting also how we as executives and as companies need to make decisions. The time that we could have a long-lasting discussion and perhaps implement something next year, it becomes more months than quarters than years in that sense.
Yeah. Things are happening a lot faster. Open finance or open banking is gaining momentum in general across Europe. Where do you see the biggest opportunities and challenges?
No, I think, open banking, since it starts with the Payment Service Directive, had his place in the market. At a certain moment even it was a bit downplayed, but what you see there is now a rise coming up, an interest coming up again for open banking, open finance space, because also the pending enforcement of PSD3 that is coming obviously. And basically what that will mean, PSD3, is that, besides the banks that, are basically obliged based on the PSD2 directives to, open up and share their information on a consent model. With PSD3, you see that also other institutions like credit bureaus and lending companies will be basically forced to start sharing more information. That will give a huge impact and a quality boost on potential data available. And of course, we as providers of that type of data are very eager to bring that as soon as possible as well to our customers to, improve their businesses and bring even more value to the service.
And we've seen this a lot on end user side. One thing I find interesting with PSD2 open banking is that everyone's forced to provide these APIs, but actual usability and finding as the company or entity exposing their APIs, finding the value in it is a different conversation.
Yeah, because, I just gave also a presentation here at FIBE. The problem is that many companies are sitting on a pile of data. The difficulty is to unlock that data as well and make it useful, let it work for you to create more revenue or create a better customer experience. Many companies are still basically confronted internally with data silos. So often the left hand doesn't know what the right hand is doing. So delivering raw open banking data to a given company that is not ready to absorb it and do meaningful stuff with that, that basically still gives a poor experience. So again, it's not only the API connectivity that is important, but it's also the capability and the ability to really make good judgments based on the data provided. And there we can help as well, because on top of basically, passing that through that data from bank to any business, we can also help them to enhance that data to make it a better quality quality data, to go from raw to categorized data, so that we really, make it more specific for their prime needs for a given business call that they want to make.
I think that's really unique, packaging that data that you get in so many different formats. Final question, what would you say to the regulators defining PSD3 right now as an innovator yourself in this space?
Well, I think we need to learn how the whole legislation was enrolled in the earlier days. I think we should not make the same mistakes again as what happened with PSD2 and PSD1. So let's learn all together, and that basically means also a very strong cooperation between regulators and eventually the market, the ecosystem that will use and need to operate in that new regulatory field. So we really need to think about really good business models, usability cases, test it, and also, start with early communications so that also in the market people can start prepare themselves as soon as possible. Okay. What you often see with new regulations that, many companies are quite hesitant to embark on it, and they're just watching and looking, will it happen? How will it happen? Will it be costly? Will it help me? That needs to be a clear conversation as soon as possible together with the regulators, and then I think we can go into a good new PSD3 environment going forward.
Really interesting points. Thank you for taking the time to speak to me, Glenn.
Yes, thank you.